Hey y'all, it's Cindy Tauchar with Around the Town and South, and my guest today is a good friend, Susan Marquez. And I'm going to tell you, I have been trying to interview Susan Marquez since we started doing this vlog back in June. But she's had some incidents. She got hit by a car in a parking lot, and
be careful out there.
watch for cars backing up in a parking lot. And she really did, and so it's taken us a little longer, and then she shows up today and she's got something else on her foot, and her foot's rebroken, so she's still dealing with that, but she showed up anyway today because we wanted to talk about her and all the fun things she has going on in her life. Susan is a freelance writer.
I am.
And you've written, first of all, how did you even get started writing?
I've always written. I was one of those goofy kids in high school who could wait till the day before the term paper was due and knock it out.
Oh my gosh.
You know?
Okay.
And
so
I would do the note cards after the paper, that kind of thing. But I've always been a writer, and I spent 20-something years in advertising, and I wrote commercial copy. I started out writing television commercials, so everything I had to say I could say in 30 seconds or less, which is
talent.
It's talent. And
try to get me to say something in 30 seconds. It ain't gonna happen.
Well, I would be hard pressed to do that now. And then it just kind of went from there, and I started writing print advertising copy and brochure copy and annual reports, and I've worked at ad agencies and that kind of thing. So writing was always a part of my job. I was a copywriter.
Yeah.
And then I spent 10 years as the marketing director at North Park Mall, and I wrote press releases and different things. But when I left North Park in 2001, I can't believe it's been almost 20 years.
Oh, wow.
I didn't really know what I was going to do. And Annie Oath, who at the time was the editor of the Madison County Herald, said, I am looking for somebody to write home and garden articles. Would you be interested in doing that? So once a week, I wrote a home and garden article in the Madison County Herald. And it grew from there, and I started writing for the Mississippi Business Journal, and then Portico, and that started. And now I'm writing for about 15 different publications.
Are they all in Mississippi?
No.
Okay.
No. One is the Bluegrass Standard magazine out of California,
Oh my
which
gosh.
has international readership. The bluegrass community is huge. But since 2001, I've had over 2,700 articles published. I did not set out to do that.
My goodness.
It just, that's what I do. I write
You
all the
have
time.
probably gotten to meet some really interesting people
I have.
along the way who are just I know it's like children, you can't say which one's your favorite, but what are some standouts that were just highlights for you?
Sometimes it's the most unassuming stories. Like I've done home stories. I'm, writing a story about somebody's home, and then you go in and you see how they live, and it's just really interesting. And then I wrote a lot of business stories over the years that I love knowing, how did this business get to where it is? One day in my flannel pajamas and fuzzy slippers, I interviewed the CEO of FedEx.
Oh, wow.
So,
my son works for FedEx.
Does he?
Yeah.
Well, but he had no idea that I was at home in Madison in my pajamas talking to him, But that's the good part about my job. Yeah.
Fun. Okay, well, another really neat thing about Susan is she is actually the president of the Mississippi Writers Guild.
Correct. Yeah.
And tell me a little bit about the Writers Guild, because what I know about it is, I would assume different authors, and this is, I know there's chapters around the state.
Right.
And are you president of the whole thing over all the chapters?
I am.
Wow.
I am. The Writers Guild was started 15 years ago by Rochelle Putnam in Meridian, and she had a vision, and she also had a need and desire to be around other writers, to learn more about the craft of writing, and not just writing, but publishing and marketing your work, and there's a lot that goes into it. Writing the book is just the first part of all that goes into it. And she had a vision, and that vision grew, and there are 11 chapters around the state now, we've got more chapters coming on board. We've got one starting up in Tupelo and one starting in Cleveland, Mississippi, which is really exciting because Cleveland is going to be where we're holding our annual conference this year at the Grammy Museum.
Oh, and we've interviewed at the Grammy Museum
great.
before. I know.
It's great.
Fabulous. It's amazing that we have that in Mississippi.
It really
and if you have
is.
not been there yet, definitely it's worth a drive from, wherever you are just to go look. There's so much there. But there's so much talent. I mean, I guess I'm just partial to Mississippi,
sure.
but Mississippi does have so much talent in all of the arts, whether it's literary arts or performing arts or or visual arts. I interviewed Candy Kane the other day. Interviewed Darden North a couple of weeks ago.
One of our
with his
members.
book.
Yeah,
he's a member. Yes, and so I mean, I'm really proud of the talent that comes out of my state, and I'm kind of jealous that none of it was dosed on me.
Oh, come on. You're very talented.
Maybe in the second half of my life I can start writing and
recognizing talent is a talent too.
Oh.
So there you go, and you recognize talent and everything.
Okay, I'll take that.
That's great. That's
So
great.
tell me, what does the Writers Guild do?
Well, we obviously our goal is to support writers, teach. That's a big component of what we do. Promote, that kind of thing. Different chapters do different things depending on what they want. Some of our chapters are more like critique groups, and they get together and they critique each other's work. The Middle Mississippi chapter, which is the chapter here in the Jackson area that I helped form a few years ago based on my own needs. See, if you can't find something that meets your needs, start it.
Yeah.
We have guest speakers every month. And so we'll have people come in and talk about publishing or marketing, or for 2 years in a row, we've had an accountant come in and talk about the business of writing and things that you can write off as a writer, tax write-offs.
I never thought about that, but I guess you do have to. It's like any other business. You have to really be, paying attention to what you're spending.
Sure. We've had people talk about grants, and there are grants available for writers to attend conferences and workshops and that kind of thing. So, ours is more educational and informational.
Well, that's good. Okay, so who can be a member of the Writers Guild?
Anyone who writes or is interested in writing. You don't have to be a published author to be a member of the Writers Guild.
So how many members are there? A lot of people. Are there a lot of people who come who really don't write?
Yes. At our Middle Mississippi chapter, and that's the one I'm most, knowledgeable about because it's the one I go to.
Right.
We have bloggers, we have songwriters, we have playwrights, we have fiction writers, nonfiction writers, people who write sci-fi stuff, mysteries, romance, you name it. It's across the board. So a lot of writing groups will be just like romance writers or just, whatever. Yeah. Ours is everybody, because the things that we talk about are things that writers of all genres can benefit from.
That is so neat. And I just didn't even know, I've heard about the Writers Guild. I just didn't know what exactly you did.
Yeah.
So are there ever like classes for people who
We have workshops.
Workshops, okay.
We'll have workshops and that kind of thing. And then we have our annual conference, which I mentioned at the Grammy Museum. The annual conference is our big thing of the year. And we'll have several speakers there. We'll have workshops there. We'll have opportunities for hands-on learning, like writing prompts and things like that. And it's going to be a lot of fun.
That is okay. Well, let me just ask you this: since you write so much, are you also a reader?
I'm a voracious reader, and I'm in a book club. So yeah.
That's right. You are in that book club that goes to.
We just got back from East Texas from our annual conference.
Fun.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Do you have to? Do y'all read certain genres
No,
or just
no.
random?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we are actually part of the, and y'all Google this one, Pulpwood Queens.
Pulpwood, P-U-L-P.
Because paper is made out of pulpwood, and there are over 600 chapters of the Pulpwood Queens around the country and around the world.
Wow.
So the
And do you all read the same book every
yes,
night?
yes,
Oh, okay.
yes.
That's kind
So
of fun.
yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, our book club, our rule is we don't want to learn anything. And
Well, you have to be able to drink wine and discuss the book. I mean, you know,
yes, that is a must.
Yes,
that is a must. And it, the other rule is if we read it in high school, we don't want to read it again.
Oh, no.
If we've written a paper on it, we're done with that book. It's complete. And although there are some books from high school I actually have gone back and read, like Wuthering Heights, and you know that I didn't appreciate at the time. But our book club, and if it's won a Pulitzer Prize, it's absolutely out because it's just
it's a little too highbrow. I understand.
Yeah,
I do understand. Yeah. Although Marshall Ramsey has won a Pulitzer Prize.
Has he?
Yeah.
I didn't know that about him.
For drawing cartoons.
Okay, well now I do read his cartoons.
Who doesn't? So.
No, he's wonderful.
Yes, he's great.
But anyway, well, you know, it's just so interesting what you're doing, and I appreciate so much you meeting with me here today. And we're at the library lounge because of the background with the books, and we just thought this might be a nice little quiet place to meet in the afternoon. It's a great suggestion.
Good. This is the Fairview Inn in Jackson.
Yeah,
The library lounge. I love it here.
Was a great backdrop for our talking about writing. So,
And a little side note, they have cocktails here named after famous Mississippi authors. Just saying.
Might have to try this out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, thank you so much for meeting us here today, and thank y'all for joining us. And I just want to make sure that I mention our sponsors for today's vlog. Village Boutique. We're always so appreciative of Village Boutique for sponsoring our vlogs, and it's in Madison, Mississippi. Ladies Boutique, they have cute clothes. I know that they are getting their spring things in as we're talking now. They've been getting new shipments in and every week, and that means that the fall and winter stuff is going on sale, which is a great thing also. And so we really thank Village Boutique for continuing to sponsor us, and also the Perfect Pooch in Ridgeland, and the other Cindy Cobb. She has a cute little dog, and I'm horrible. I don't know what kind it is. I think it's a terrier or something. Those little tiny ones that are so cute. But that's where she takes her dog, and she's always putting pictures of how cute she looks after she gets her groomed, and she's all primed and like a little spa day for the dogs. And they do if you need to leave your dog there, boarding and everything too. So the Perfect Pooch in Ridgeland, if you have a little furry friend that you need a place to take, that would be a great place to take them. So we thank both of those sponsors. And thank you again.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you so much.
Sure,
and
thank you.
Y'all be sure to follow Around the Town in the South on Facebook and Instagram, YouTube, all of the social media. We're on all of them. You can find us anywhere. So be sure and follow us and share and spread the word. We would love to have more people share with all these fun stories that we keep finding. So thanks for joining us, and we'll be seeing you around the town.